In 1965, Cairo was abuzz with a mystery that turned the pages of local newspapers into a gripping thriller. In this real story, we take you deep into the enigmatic events surrounding the death of Mrs. Insaf in her apartment. Suleiman, the doorman, was the first to notice the unsettling smell of gas emanating from Mr. Talat's apartment. Concern rising, he called residents to action, suspecting a grave danger that could result in a disaster. The urgency heightened when ringing the doorbell went unanswered, prompting him to notify the police for fear someone inside could be in peril. Upon the police's arrival and forced entry, they discovered Mrs. Insaf lifeless, confirmed dead from gas asphyxiation. But where was her husband, Mr. Talat? Neighbors confirmed Talat hadn't been seen around the time of the ominous discovery. The last known instance of his presence in the building was earlier that day. As suspicions grew, it became a puzzle of statements needing unraveling. The investigation revealed a tapestry of relationships and history. An actor living below, a brother worried about his sister's marriage after her first husband's death, and a doorman testifying to the apartment's silent days. Each character added a layer of complexity to the narrative. Talat painted a picture of a loving husband trying to help Insaf move on from a past lover, a past she seemingly couldn't relinquish, causing strains in their marriage. Interviews slowly unearthed a contradicting story. Insaf's brother testified that she regretted remarrying and often compared Talat to her first husband, finding little comfort in her new life. The brother exposed her previous protests against remarriage and a latent unwillingness quenched only by circumstances he was unaware of. The linchpin in this case was Talat's story, which began to fray. His alibi of traveling to Alexandria left gaps soon filled by the forensics report showing a sedative in Insaf's system, pointing away from an accidental death. Talat's eventual confession unraveled his chilling strategy. He intended to inherit Insaf's properties, discontent that grief overshadowed their marriage. Preying on her emotional vulnerabilities, he planned upon her fatal mistake. The alluring promise of sedatives left her a delayed mind, an unwitting player in his plot. Talat laid his diabolical plan, where he put raw eggs poised for proof on a stove, to then divert into an apparent accident by leaving the gas open. Yet divine justice paid no mind to his machinations. A mere fallen egg cracked open his facade. In the end, his deceit was apparent. Raw eggs remained unboiled, dispatching his sly alibi. Thus justice, through as simple a medium as the egg state, illuminated the crime beneath his planning. With the conviction of Talat, this unusual case testified to avarice's fatal grasp. And so, the curtains fell on another episode of The Strangest Cases, leaving citizens marveled and reminded of the finitude within their human schemes.